trying to room with some dudes he met in a basketball class, and so we were looking around at different places, and he was like, "Oh, they're thinking of this place," and on the paperwork I didn't like it very much because it didn't have a washer and dryer in unit.
Right. Yeah.
I do not like that.
That's a hard one.
But I was like, I'm fine. I'd rather be with Brandon than washer Brandon.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I moved to Raintree. I had a former friend. I had a friend back in the day that moved over to Raintree, and they liked it pretty well. And then that's how I found out about Raintree. And then eventually, when I wanted to come to Raintree, like how I got my contract was I went on Facebook Marketplace, and there was just
So many people do that. It's such a goated way.
It was like 3 weeks into he had a contract that he'd signed from the year before, but then he got engaged over the summer, and so he needed to sell it. So he sold it to me like super quickly. So
Nice.
It was nice.
How do you feel like the maintenance is and keep up is at Raintree?
I would say good. I mean, our apartment. So I moved in like the 3 weeks before I moved in was when they had just reopened that apartment from like when they had renovations. I would say they had done a pretty good job. And then any like problems we ever had, like we had like the boiler went out one day. We've had a few other things that have happened, and they respond pretty quickly. I mean, like within a day or two, they're there fixing everything. Like, I mean, yeah, we had like one day where we were out of water when they had to replace like the heater, but I mean, other than that, like everything's been pretty good at Raintree.
Yeah, a lot of people complain for some reason, but every time I put in a maintenance request, it got done there that day or like the next day or two if it was something bigger. But if it was a important issue, they were there usually that day to come help and fix it.
Also, the main maintenance guy, Greg, super nice.
Oh, that dude is
he's
awesome.
super dope. Everybody loves him. So.
Everyone loves Greg. He's awesome.
He's a great dude.
How do you guys feel about the washer and dryer situation? Like laundry and everything.
I would definitely say my biggest complaint probably is it's not really the apartment complex, but it's the tenants. So many people, I mean, this is a problem all over Provo, right? But people will leave their stuff in the dryer and not go get it. I don't understand, because I mean, I set like timers to make sure that I'm taking my laundry out right at the right time, you know? But some people leave their stuff there, and then there's not as many washers and dryers. That's the number one thing. And the number two thing, I feel like there's been a good number of times at Raintree where like the washer and dryer won't work, and so I'll send a request to the company that they have the QR code for on the machines, and they'll get back and say, oh, it's like, you know, Raintree has to redo the outlet or something like that, and so it's like Raintree's fault. So I mean, like that's like the only issue I would have with that, I would say.
I'm a bit of a cheapskate, so I have enough clothes that I just do my laundry when I go back home.
How often do you go home?
About once a month.
Dang.
All right.
So that works out for me.
All right, Paul.
I know it's only like $6, but
yeah, it adds up.
principle as well, you know.
It adds up over time.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the social life is here? Be honest, like social life outside of the ward.
Outside of the ward.
Outside of the ward?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You could go to the hot tub, I guess, but at the same time, I don't know. Hot tub's down like all the time, so it's just broken. So
now within the ward, how's the social life?
Well, I guess I'll like in and out of the ward. I would say so. I moved here from a different apartment complex called Campus Plaza. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely it's probably like the cheapest. If it's not the cheapest, it's the second or third.
I did a review on
it
it last week. So
okay, yeah. So Campus Plaza, I would say, is definitely 100% the most social place in Provo, and so there's always people doing something here, there, and everywhere. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's always something going on officially in your ward. There's always something going on not officially in your ward. There's always something officially going on not official, like just random stuff with people from all 3 wards at Campus Plaza. So just like all the people there are always like super down to do stuff, always doing things, very social, very down to earth, very humble. Whereas I feel like at Raintree, everybody has their own friends from other places. Not everybody, but a ton of people have friends from other places and stuff like that. So they all have their friend groups or whatever that they do stuff with, but they don't do as much. like in the past, like my first year here, like nobody did anything with the ward hardly. We hardly had people coming to activities. Now I would say in our ward, there's a ton going on.
Last year there wasn't too much either. It's a lot better this year.
Yeah,
than
that's what I'm
it
saying.
was
Last year there was like nothing going on in the ward, whereas this year the people that moved in were just so much more social and willing to like do stuff together. And so I feel like in our ward we have a ton of stuff going on, but outside of the ward there's just
Yeah, it's hard to find
Nothing.
things.
I think it was also just kind of helped by us all
well,
coming from the year before and then
there's that.
like, trying
Yeah, that too.
How is dating life at Raintree? Do you think you could go up to someone and ask them if they want to go out and they'd say yeah, or is that kind of like not really a thing around here, or how is dating like in the ward, out of the ward? How is it? What's the atmosphere there?
So
Well, Paul, you can go ahead on.
well, what he's referring to is I got engaged to a girl I met here.
You got engaged to a girl that you met here?
Yeah,
No way.
but met my fiance here in the ward. We do some different activities and she asked me out and it worked out great
Jeez.
since then. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, well, Paul is engaged to somebody who lives here at Raintree. Our roommate Braden is dating someone pretty seriously with someone he met here at Raintree as well, Lara. And then Robbie's dating somebody as well. So there's like 3 out of the 6 in our apartment are dating somebody pretty seriously or engaged.
Yeah.
There's someone from Raintree. And then
They've also gone on, Brandon at least has gone on a ton of dates.
and Brandon's
with
gone
girls
on a
from
ton of
Raintree.
dates with girls from here. I've only been on dates with probably like 2 girls from Raintree, something like that. So not as much, but that's just, more, I don't go on quite as many dates as the rest of everybody goes on, so. But I mean, overall, it's a pretty good odds, I would say, for our apartment.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Like having people date that much in between the apartments.
Yeah.
It's really good. Let's think. What do you think about the pay that you have to be, like rent? Like how much is it, and how comfortable do you feel about it?
Man, I want to say it's probably, including a parking pass, like, honestly, I can't exactly remember. It's probably about $530 a month, maybe, somewhere in there.
Thinking more like $560.
Well,
It
so we
depends.
signed. So if you stayed from the year before, so
Oh.
I had the contract that I bought from the guy who'd been here the year before, and so like the longer you stay at Raintree, the lower the rates are, if that makes sense. So I think with a parking pass, it's probably about $530 is what I'm paying,
Mhm.
which is cheaper. I mean, be able to get a contract now, it's probably like $550, $560 somewhere in there,
Yeah, that's
something
what
like
I'm
that.
paying.
Which I would say, I mean, I've been at places, like a couple years ago, I was at a place that, including utilities, was probably about like $283, $284 a month, something like that.
Campus Plaza.
Campus Plaza, yeah. Which the rates have gone up a lot of places in Provo. I mean, what I say, I think Raintree should be as expensive as it is. It should probably be a little bit cheaper, probably. But at the same time, like, I think our apartment, like, all the amenities and everything we have in our apartment is really nice. Fridges work well, stove works well, place is clean. There's just not,
We got 2
holes in the walls.
refrigerators and freezers, which is
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean,
Incredible.
for how much I'm paying and the other reviews that do at apartments, like, the trim is nice, the paint's good, like, it doesn't look like it's falling apart.
Yeah, they upkeep it pretty well. Which, I mean, they are like recently renovated or whatever, but I think I would say they've done a pretty good job. I mean, in the end, I mean, it's like housing for students and young people, so it's like you can't really expect too much anyways.
Fair enough.
So,
Alright, any pros or cons? Like, anything outstanding?
I mean, I would say location next to Walmart, super nice. It's like right there. For
That is
everyone that
nice.
likes football games and stuff like that, and I guess basketball too, like stadiums are both
Mhm.
right there. You've got the Provo River Trail right there.
super nice.
So I mean, location's pretty good.
It's
I would
also
say.
great if you're a member of the church. Pretty much all the wards here get to go to an actual building instead of just one of the ones on campus,
That is true.
which I appreciate a lot. I really didn't like going to church just in a room on campus.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
So
No.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, there's that. I feel like Raintree in general, like it used to be marketed at least a couple years ago as like the most social place in Provo, which it definitely isn't. So I would say the biggest con is the fact that it's not really social in terms of like just generally. I mean, it's just people live here, but they're only here to stay here, not here to like have their life and their friends and all that stuff here. From what I've seen,
it's not like you're gonna go out into the little grass area out there and see a bunch of groups of people all talking.
Yeah,
and
no,
sitting
you never
there.
see that.
No, it's not gonna happen.
It's only like couples, or if it's some kind of ward activity, sometimes you get people grouped up, ward prayer, stuff like that. But other than that, nobody really congregates here.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a party in someone's apartment, but they're going to do that wherever they are,
Also, the grass, like, around here just isn't the best. Like, there's too many hills and everything for playing spike ball or anything like that. So you never see anyone doing that type of stuff, which you usually see at
That's true.
other places like that.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, what would you give Raintree out of 10?
I don't know. An 8.
An 8, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot better than my old apartment, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would say definitely like probably around an 8 range as well. I mean, it helps that like the roommates the roommates had last year plus the ones this year have all been really good. Obviously if you have people who are messy, stuff like that, like it would have a lower rating. But I mean, 8.5, somewhere in there.
And would you recommend Raintree to someone else?
If they're like someone who's like really struggling to be able to pay rent, stuff like that, maybe not, because it is more on the expensive side, at least in my opinion. But I would say somebody in a situation like me or my roommates, I would recommend it. Yeah, it's a good place. Our ward's pretty good.
No. Anything else to add?
No.
I think it's everything.
Alright, bet.